Otherwise, it would be called Scharding. Okay, so it's called Scharding. But it used to have a different name. In the 800s, it was called Scharding. One last thing before we move on. Here you may notice some of these old wrought iron tombstones that were left here next to the church. But because of that area here with the moat and the bridge, the area was... So you lease it, meaning you have it for about maybe 10 years, yeah? You pay that lease off every single year, and if all of a sudden, you know, you don't have any other family members or anyone who's going to be paying for that, then sometimes you're out of there. Meaning, so what about butchers? You guys can guess this one. What kind of butchers?
Red.
Butchers are red, of course. And yellow?
Drugstore. Beer maker.
Okay, yes, actually beer. Brewers are usually still yellow today, even with the
Apothecary.
Apothecary, they didn't stay that. Usually it was, in Germany it's more green. But I'm thinking sometimes sometimes they got them mixed up. But beer was usually one, and castles and churches were also yellow. And bakeries were often blue, saddlers were brown, right? And green were usually taverns where they sold wine. And so this way they get to... Can you see the June the 3rd, 2013? That was the big flood in Passau. Obviously, it hit every single town, not just Passau. But you probably saw the flood levels of the Danube, right?
Yes.
This was the Inn River, okay? Which is...
Oh, that's beautiful.
Look at that. Now, unfortunately, there used to be a long tongue on here that fell off. What did this person commit here?
Gossip. Lying.
Gossip or lying, exactly. And then the person would have to walk around 48 hours with this mask on. Okay, yeah. So now we're crossing back into Germany, everyone. But this is interesting, because notice the front facade here. There's a line going down through here. Today, it is owned by two different owners. Originally, it was built in the 10th century. It was a monastery for the Benedictine monks. And now there are two different owners. One half owns the church, and the other half is owned by a group of artists. Which half do you think that the church owns? The left? Actually, you would normally think that here in Europe, but that's not the case. It actually, their side is the right side. Out of sight, out of mind, maybe, right? But isn't that interesting here?
Is that
the
how
facade
you
here?
Yeah, that's fine.
And the castles were always built along the waters to control the commerce, right? To charge the tolls for salt that was brought along these rivers here. The waters here on the inn, they were a lot more wild because of the power plants, right? Along the river there, it's very controlled. On the salt barges, they could not swim. They only hired non-swimmers. So they could not abandon ship, right? And usually the first person who fell into the water was sacrificed to the waters. And on a rock to the right a little bit, you'll see is on the town hall in Passau. They found, or there's that sign with the fish market dating back to the thousands, to the 1800s. And so that's how they know. And they actually found a marking in Passau on one of the buildings from 1501, which was the worst flood in Passau ever. And how about a toast to your wonderful trip along the Danube?
On either side of the bridge.